Here, very good evening friends. In this program we are just trying to discuss again the recursive function. Recursive function is just a way that you have seen. The C is the POP, procedure oriented programming language, and the C is just a collection of large number of functions. So the functions just call one function, call another function, and then in the meantime sometimes the functions communicate with the help of data and they exchange the data in between them. So C++ is you can see a large number of collections of the procedures converted into the functions, and the data roam around these functions. So however the data becomes vulnerable, but this is a powerful tool, and this is in this program we are trying to discuss, because the recursion just says that can a function call itself, can main call itself. What will happen if the main call the main? Will it not go into the infinite loop? Because so this is the idea. Now I just before that I'm trying to discuss about the expressions, because C++ programming or C programming is used mainly in the mathematics or for academics persons academic curriculum. So in this condition you will come across, because what we do, we just simply convert one mathematical or the idea into the program. So suppose in the meantime we have to face some expressions like x equal to a into b into c. So it is just like a mathematical expressions called equality and some operators plus into and the minus. So there should be any operator precedence, because we have been taught that whenever you deal with algebraical expressions consisting of more than two operators, then there should be some operator precedence, and that is concluded in the real life as Bodmas rules, and in the computer programming language it is treated as Badmas rule. So some basic functions you already know, and that very same, almost kind of same thing. So the expressions can be categorized as the arithmetic expressions, logical expression. Arithmetic expressions where everything is arithmetic in nature, like the addition, subtraction, multiplication, modular division. Then you have the relational expression where you compare one type of data value to another type of data value, and this gives you idea of the less than, greater than, less than or equal to, not equal to, more than or less than. So output of these expressions are always Boolean. Then you have another expression called as logical expression, and logical expression, my friends, help you to connect two or more relational expressions. So if you have a relational expressions x greater than y and you want to combine it, because together if they are true, it's called ANDing. Double ampersand means AND operator. AND means this and this, means both the statements should be true, both the conditions should be true. OR means just like either or, if any one of them is true then it's true. And not equal to is just like whatever, if the logical state is true it will become false, and if it is false it will become true. So this is how we just try to deal with the different kind of expressions: arithmetic expression, relational expressions, and my friends logical expressions. So now this is called, certain expressions are called the pure expressions, where the expression consists of the variables which are all of the same data type, and the mathematical rule precise over the operations is called as the Badmas, and this is called the operators hierarchy, like which you have the plus and minus, then which operator will have the precedence over the another one. So this is normal, simple, everyone knows all these things. And now here I just remove all this thing, because this was for the sake of discussion. In this program I just try to achieve the idea of the recursion. Recursion says that can a function call itself? If a function, the main can call sqrt, declare, define inside the math.h. If the strlen function can be called inside the main function just by including the header file string.h. Can I create one function which can call the main? Can the main call itself? The idea is that can main call itself. So I'm just trying to just explain you this idea with the help of another example, and this is called the power. So I'm just trying to finding out the power of functions, just like it has a base and one index, like 2 to the power 3 is 8, or 5 to the power 3 is 125, 3 to the power 4 is 81. So here this is the entering the value of the base, and that will go into the memory address for x, ampersand x, percentage specifier is percentage d. Next time enter the index, and then here it goes, enter base, then scanf %d at the address of y. So x to the power y. This is the theme we are trying to achieve with the help of recursion function. Recursion function, as the name says, recurring itself, means a function calling itself. This is not the main function. This is going to be designed later. Here I define these functions called function prototype, and since it is at the beginning, I do not need separate prototype and definitions. I simply do one thing. So function name is int myPower, which is power, and the int m. So it will become, I'll pass x and y, and there will become mn. So m to the power n is just same as x to the power y. So how to achieve? If m to, suppose this is ideal, if any number to the power 0 is 1, so if n is 0, then the power function will return 1. So for any base, there are many things you can do. I'm just not restricting any base because I'm inputting the data judiciously, and I'm just not trying to confuse the compiler. But in the real life applications, you have to restrict them, otherwise user can try to just make your functions, make your program go wrong. So here it is. Now I call m, and then I'll just pass n minus 1. So m to the power n minus 1, slowly, and then finally it will return the value. Now here I run, I call the functions. Now see, from inside myPower, I just call the myPower, means from within the body of the myPower is being called. This idea is called as recursion, and there I'll be collecting the result from that functions into the variable called res. So res equals myPower. It should be power, but fine, the name is not important. This is user if no one is going to see my code, just they need to see the result. So my POR, and then I'll pass x comma y, and then I'll print the value of the result, and that is integer type, so %d. Now return 0, and we are done. If it does not have any, of course, any error, syntactical error. Right now you understand there are two type of errors: syntactical error and the runtime error, or you can say compile time error and the runtime error. rec1.c, run it. Good, no error, no warning, everything is just good. So 2 base is 5, should be 32, and it is 32. So enter 3 and 5, it should be 243. Correct, it's working nicely. Thank you very much. Just subscribe to our channel and keep learning more and more about this. Thank you very much.